As part of activities at restoring life back to northeast Nigeria, the United Nations Security Council paid a visit to Maiduguri to see the situation and also visited Abuja for a press conference. The delegates stated that the troops have really played a great part in the effort, but charged the Nigerian government to intensify efforts at bringing respite back to the region.
Encourage them to redouble their efforts until the job is done. It is imperative to defeat the poisoned ideology of Boko Haram and replace the fear that they sow with hope. But it's not just terrorism. It is also a humanitarian crisis that is unfolding on a scale hardly imaginable. We have been struck by the individual stories that we have heard, including yesterday in the IDP camp in Maiduguri, from the women whose husbands had been killed by Boko Haram, who have lost children to Boko Haram, and who are now struggling to feed themselves and their families, who are struggling to give their remaining children the education that those children deserve. So we stand again with the government of Nigeria in responding to that crisis. We encourage the government to step up, to disperse the $1 billion that it pledged at the Oslo conference from the state level and the national level.
The crisis we have seen firsthand is much, much bigger than what we are anticipating. So seeing government of the region team up to confront militarily, but also otherwise, this very multifaceted crisis is heartening. If you want somebody to help you, you should start by helping yourself.
We urge the government of Nigeria to ensure that internally displaced returns and refugee returns are voluntary and coordinated with the humanitarian agencies so that key services can be put in place before people go home to their original communities. And in this regard, we do congratulate the government of Nigeria and the government of Cameroon in signing the tripartite agreement with the UN High Commission for Refugees just last week. And lastly, B, at the Nigerian Armed Forces Theater Command briefing yesterday in Maiduguri, we heard about Operation Lafia Dole, and we learned that Lafia Dole in the Hausa language means peace is a must. And we agree, peace is a must, and the UN Security Council does support Nigeria in bringing peace back to northeastern Nigeria and the affected areas of the Lake Chad Basin.
For his part, the UNDP resident representative in Nigeria said the magnitude of the crisis in Northeast is a global issue that deserves a global attention. He also pledged to help Nigerian government implement the Sustainable Development Goals.
The magnitude of the impact of the crisis in Nigeria is of global concern. We're talking about 14 million people that have been affected by the Boko Haram crisis in Northeast Nigeria. 8.5 million of these people need urgent humanitarian assistance, and the UN has prepared the 2017 Humanitarian Response Plan to reach 6.9 million of the most affected people in Northeast Nigeria.
They further collectively called for the protection of the vulnerable in the region, with emphasis on children and women, as well as applauding the progress recorded so far by the Nigerian troops. A period of 18 months was also pegged to restoring the region back to its original state. What is, however, left is what the Nigerian government will make do of the call. Bayomi Akimbola, PTV News, Abuja.